What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Sr.
And I'm Harrison Graham.
We just launched a brand new show here at Chat Sports. It's called Any Given Thursday. We go live every Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific.
And this video you're about to watch aired live from this past Thursday show on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. You see the link below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. So subscribe, join us every Thursday. And with that being said, go ahead and enjoy this video. Let's talk college football here on Any Given Thursday. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. here. And hey, rumors around the USC coaching job continue to circulate after Clay Helton was given the boot by the USC Trojans. And it's going to be interesting because this is one of the premier jobs in the country.
Look, when Pete Carroll was there, it was almost as if USC was a minor league football team. Games at the Coliseum were lit, and it had a very professional atmosphere because all of the celebrities in the Los Angeles, Hollywood area would come to watch
Snoop.
Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and the bevy of phenomenal players who wore that Trojan uniform over time. But since Pete Carroll has left, this has been a bad football program. And the big reason why this is such a key talking point is because of the glory days of Pete Carroll. People realize that USC is a national brand.
Yep.
It is a preeminent power in college football, and the potential is there for whichever head coach takes this gig. And there's a long list of them. You broke it down on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. It's such an appealing gig for that reason. Plus, you're in the state of California where there are so many premier recruits on any given day. Offensive line, defensive backs, wide receiver, running back, quarterbacks, they all hail from the great state of California.
You do not have to leave, and you guys can answer this question, by the way, who will be the next USC head coach. If you are the head coach at Southern Cal, you don't have to leave the area to recruit.
No.
There is a bevy of talent in Southern California. Now, sure, you want to recruit nationally. That's what all good programs do. But you basically don't have to.
And the problem with USC and Clay Helton is you have the Mario Cristobals of the world and the Nick Sabans of the world coming into your territory, on your turf, stealing your recruits
State.
From a program that used to get all of them when Pete Carroll was there. So they need a great recruiter.
So we'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Who will be the next USC head coach? Let us know down in the comments. So here are kind of the hot rumors right now, Chase, and we'll kind of go one by one here. Urban Meyer, of course, was asked anytime a major college job opens. Oh, Urban Meyer. He says no chance. I don't know if I believe him.
I buy it.
I
do buy it.
I buy it today. I wonder if I buy it when the Jags are 1-10.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean?
That changes
what
things.
if he's 1-10?
Information changes opinions.
If Urban Meyer is 1-10 and he says, you know what? I've never been a loser at any point in my life. Maybe the NFL isn't for me, and USC is calling my name. See ya, Jacksonville. Someone else can run this Trevor Lawrence offense. I'm heading out to LA, baby. I think I believe him for now, but let's hit the pause button on this one, Chase. I definitely think this could change because I do think USC will take their time. Because I think a lot of their candidates they want to talk to are head coaches of other college teams, and you can't really talk to these guys right now because we're just getting going with the season. This is an interesting one to me, this second bullet point. Eric Bieniemy expected to draw interest, the Chiefs head coach, which, by the way, it's a crime. He's still not a head coach in the NFL. Let's be clear about that.
Great offensive mind.
He's on the record in the past for saying USC is one of the only college jobs he would even consider.
Yep.
And Adam Schefter reported that he would draw interest here. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, because Colorado was interested in Bieniemy because I believe he played there.
He played at Colorado, but he was like,
you're not going to Colorado when you can still coach Patrick Mahomes as the offensive coordinator. He deserves to be a head coach. And for those saying, well, why would USC go after a pro coach? That's what they did with the Pete Carroll formula. If you remember, he failed with the Jets and the Patriots as a head coach. And I think a head coach or an offensive coordinator from the NFL level could have the chops to bring USC back.
Bob Stoops hopped on ESPN U radio with Danny Cannell, who's covered college football forever, and would not dismiss it. I listened to a couple of clips from Stoops, and he said, look, I can't control the rumors. You know, I've never been one to deny or to blow up rumors around my name. He even threw out a line, I can't remember the exact quote. He basically said, I'll never dismiss something that could be the perfect fit. I don't know if this is the perfect fit, but you never know. So he won't dismiss it, which honestly is a smart move on his part. You should always want to be in the mix for these kind of things, even if he's not that interested in, even if he's comfortable with Fox right now.
Yeah, I just think Stoops is done. I really think Stoops is done.
We'll see.
Yeah.
XFL. He hopped back in for that.
He was itching for that.
But they were letting him do whatever the hell he wanted. Luke Fickell, this was reported by, I can't remember if it was, I think it was Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports said it's, quote, his job to lose because USC AD Mike Bone hired him at Cincinnati. And now he's the AD at USC, and Fickell's done wonders for Cincy. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
You could argue they've been the best G5 program the past half decade. Now, here's what I wonder if you're Fickell. Number one, Cincinnati's going to be in the Big 12 in a couple of years, so he gets into the Power 5 if they stay Power 5. We'll see how that plays out without having to leave. Also, I believe that he wants the Ohio State job. Now, Ryan Day could be there for 25 years. That's the risk, right, of just sticking around and waiting. So I'll be fascinated, to see if that report, I'll put that loosely, is true, because I think it's too hard to say what are rumors and reports right now with this thing. But if it's truly his job to lose, then that'll be very, very interesting. And then James Franklin kind of deflecting, and I know you've got strong James Franklin Penn State opinions coming from the Northeast.
Yeah, so James Franklin has been at Penn State since 2013, and I think over the last 5 years, he has done a tremendous job recruiting. You look at that Penn State roster throughout the last 5 years, they have been able to produce some very, very good professional players, some star players at the NFL level. And I think James Franklin is a candidate for USC because of his energy, because of his culture building ability, because mostly important, his recruiting ability. Yeah. But I'd make the argument that right now Penn State is a better job than USC. Now, the potential of USC makes that job very attractive, but look at what James Franklin has done. They're consistently a top 10, top 15 program. He's making $8 million in rural Pennsylvania. They already won the Big Ten championship a couple years ago over Wisconsin. And I think right now and over the last 5 years, Penn State has been the second most talented team in that conference, right behind Ohio State. And this year is a perfect opportunity for a Penn State, for a Michigan to compete for the Big Ten title because Ohio State looks to be down. So if I'm James Franklin, everything is right there in your home state of Pennsylvania, and it's all working out in your favor. You have serious momentum. I'm not leaving a great situation for one that has potential but is uncertain.
I think you make a good point where you say the ceiling of USC could be higher, but Penn State today probably is a better job, and here's why. Number one, the Big Ten is much more stable than the Pac-12. There's just no denying that. So that is in your favor. Number two, he's established there. Like, he would really have to fall off a cliff for Penn State to be like, hey, we're cutting ties with you. Where if he goes to USC and is 500 for 2 years, they'll just fire you. I mean, that's just how that's going to go. On the flip side, when USC is good, they're just running the Pac-12. Yeah. I mean, no matter how good James Franklin is at Penn State, he'll never run the Big Ten with Ohio State in that conference. It just won't happen. Whereas the ceiling of USC, you get it rolling in the Pac-12 out west with Southern Cal, you can kind of own out, the entire western part of the United States from a recruiting standpoint, from a winning standpoint, just from a, what's the term? Culture, I guess, is the right term, because Pac-12, let's be honest, some of these fan bases aren't that strong. You look at these packed stadiums in college football, not many of them are out west, but when USC is good, it's rocking in that stadium. We just haven't seen it in a long time, so I'll be fascinated to see who takes this job, who else could be in the mix, because there's a lot of names flying around right now when it comes to USC. Before we move on to our next topic here on our college football segment here on Any Given Thursday, is USC still a top 10 program? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Is it a top 10 program today?
Not right now.
I'm kind of with you.
Not right now.
I think the ceiling of it is top 5.
The last 10 years tells you no.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair to say. BetUS is the number one sports book in the game. That I can say with 100% guarantee. And you should make money throughout the college football season at chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CHAT125 if you want to bet on college football or the NFL. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are NFL fans. We got a jersey deal for you guys. So follow these steps. Get going with BetUS. This, of course, is brand new BetUS customers. Chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code BetUS chat125. Place a bet on any college game, NFL, any NFL game. Then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll hook you guys up with a brand new jersey from your favorite NFL team. The steps are on screen. We can flash them up for you guys. Chatsports.com/bet. Chat125 is the promo code. Sign up and deposit. Want to add this little step? Place a bet on any game. You got to deposit $100 to get that $125 for free, but your bet can be for as little as $5. And then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Let's talk a little about Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns here now. Chase, is he panicking in Austin? 2 games in and he's benching his quarterback. He's going back to Casey Thompson.
Last week on the show, we were very complimentary of Steve Sarkisian. I thought he did very creative things offensively in that first game against Louisiana. It was a good win against a ranked team that was very well coached, and Hudson Card looked pretty good in that game. Then they go to Arkansas, and they got their teeth kicked in. They got a preview as to what SEC football is all about. It wasn't even close from kickoff until the end of that game, and Hudson Card didn't play well, missed a lot of guys deep, and because of that, Steve Sarkisian has now elected to change quarterbacks going with Casey Thompson. Is it a panic move? I think it's way too early to move off of Hudson Card because I thought he showed some good things in that first game against Louisiana. Before I toss it over to you, the only thing that kind of comes to mind when I think about going with Thompson over Card is this. Is he worried about Thompson going into the transfer portal? And then they don't have a lot of quarterbacks on the roster, so then you're kind of screwed when you only have a Card to go to. You want to see if Casey Thompson can show you something. But I think it's a panic move after what was a disastrous performance in the Pigpen.
So I have a few thoughts, and then we'll make our college football picks of the week. Number one, this is absolutely a panic move. You named Hudson Card your starting quarterback after an entire spring and summer. He played well in the season opener, and after one bad game on the road in an SEC environment, you bench your quarterback. That's a panic move. Now, a couple of things could be at play. Number one, Texas's offensive line has not been good. It was bad in the opener. It was worse against a physical Arkansas team. Casey Thompson's more mobile. Maybe you're saying, you know what, I need a guy who can move around a little bit more back there. Okay, that's fine. But is Steve Sarkisian about to be in over his head in Austin? This fan base, these boosters, don't take long to start booing you. Trust me. I've been watching this program my entire life. My dad walked on at Texas. I'm very familiar with what goes on in Austin. They better figure this out quickly because this back and forth crap does not work because you could risk both guys entering the transfer portal. I go back to Kevin Sumlin at A&M a few years ago when all of his quarterbacks transferred. This is not a good situation if you're Texas, and kind of like USC, who we were talking about a little bit ago, historically a great program, but it has been a long time since they have won at a consistent clip in Austin. So we'll ask you guys this question, and then Chase and I are going to make our picks of the week. What's the better program right now? Type
Great
USC or type UT?
Great national championship back in the day.
I still think Texas is the better program, but my God, they cannot figure it out.
I like Texas better, but
they both
going to
the
SEC, I might lean USC now.
You know, and you know what's crazy? Only one coach in 40 years has been able to handle the pressure of the Texas job, and that's Mac Brown. No one else has been able to do it. So USC or UT, let us know who you guys think the better program is. Make sure you guys are subscribing to us here at Chat Sports. Chase and I love talking college football, so if you want more college football news, rumors, weekly picks, previews, rankings discussion, which once we get later into the season and those playoff rankings come out, we'll be discussing those, I am sure. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. This is the link for you. Make sure you subscribe for more college football videos. All right, Chase, here are your Week 3 picks. Let's hear it.
Yeah, run through these very quickly. Boston College, 15-point favorites against my alma mater, the Temple Owls. These are not the Temple Owls that Matt Rule coached to national prominence a couple years ago. They are bad. They're playing Jordan Lynch's brother at quarterback, who was okay last week, but Boston College should win this game going away. I like South Carolina getting plus 31.5 at Georgia. I like Georgia. Their defense is great, but they're on their second quarterback. South Carolina is 2-0 with a former grad assistant turned quarterback. I like this story. Give me the Gamecocks plus 31.5. Florida State, you lose to Jacksonville State last week. Can you rebound, go on the road as 4-point underdogs to beat Wake Forest? I think Florida State should win outright. My question is, how good is Notre Dame after Florida State nearly beat them in the opening week? Not great, maybe. Alabama minus 14.5 against Florida. Alabama is just built different, Harrison. That's a term that we like to use. I think Alabama is just truly elite, and Florida is good to very good. Also have some questions at the quarterback spot, but I like Bama, 2 touchdowns plus, and then Penn State in the whiteout against Auburn. Yeah. I'm picking Penn State solely because I think the defense is going to thrive from the energy of the whiteout crowd. I've been to a whiteout game. There is nothing like it in college football. It is a true spectacle. I don't know if Auburn knows what it's running into. Now, Auburn has played in a lot of hostile SEC environments, but it's a little different. Nighttime in the whiteout. I don't have a lot of faith or trust in Sean Clifford. I do love the defense because I think there are multiple pros on that side of the football. I'm gassing Penn State as 5-point favorites. My upset pick, Michigan State on the road against Miami. Manny Diaz, I think he's a fraud, not because he skipped out at Temple after he was hired, never coached a game, went back to Miami, but I just don't think Miami is that good. I really don't. And I think Michigan State is pretty solid. They showed me some things the first couple weeks of the season, especially in that opener. Michigan State as almost touchdown underdogs. They go on the road against Miami, and they win outright.
Rules on our upset picks, by the way, got to be 6 points or more to win outright. So Michigan State over Miami is Chase's upset pick. Here are my picks. This is a tricky one, but Indiana was really bad against Iowa. I think Cincinnati has a similar caliber defense. I get it. It's at Indiana, but -4 for the Bearcats. I love Luke Fickell and the way he coaches. I think they cover and win that game by at least 5 points. Bama over Florida, like you said, built different. Florida has quarterback issues. Emory Jones can't throw the ball that well. He's a good runner, but Bryce Jones, when it's all said and done, this might end up being Nick Saban's best quarterback, and that says a lot with the type of signal callers he's had over the last several years. This is a bounce-back game for Ohio State, a get-right game. I think they smashed Tulsa. -25. I could see this being like a 52-10 game. I really could. Tulsa's got some decent players, but I think Ohio State absolutely murders them. How about Colorado? I told you guys last week, 17.5 underdogs against A&M.
Almost won.
In Denver was
almost
a
got the
joke.
Yeah.
They should have won that game. A&M injury or not, quarterback injury or not, I definitely think they would have covered that 17.5. I think they beat Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't have Mo Ibrahim, who is a terrific running back. Lost him in week 1. I like the Buffaloes at home in this game. And then trap game, UCLA, a lot of hype. Trap game, Fresno State +11.5. Don't be shocked if they win this game. Book that as well. I'm not picking that as my upset, but it would not be surprising at all if they beat UCLA. I think they cover for sure. And then Purdue +7 at Notre Dame. You mentioned it, Chase. I don't know if this Notre Dame team is any good. Jack Cohen's been okay at quarterback. I think the biggest difference in Notre Dame this year compared to recent teams, where's the defense, man? Florida State gasses you for 38. Toledo puts 29 on you. I don't know, man. Purdue getting a touchdown on the road. I get it. It's in South Bend, but give me Purdue to win outright in this game, +7 at Notre Dame. That is my upset pick of the week here on Any Given Thursday. And let us know before we hop out of this college football segment, who is your favorite college football team? Let us know in the comments. I'm a TCU alum. You're a Temple alum, so it's kind of Temple-Penn State hybrid.
Yes,
from PA. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Temple, not much of a football powerhouse.
No, not these days. No. Let us know favorite college football team down in the comments.